Vanakkam, namaste, and blessings to everyone. This is Dr. Bhairavi Balasubramanian, PhD, the Sky Priestess, and welcome to Hello Neighbor 15. Oh, well, it's Lionsgate today, at least here where I am. It might still be getting there for those of you in the Americas. Honestly, I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about today. That's what I messaged on Instagram as I was informing people. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. So I don't know. There have been a couple of very interesting events that have happened in my life recently, and they've been very challenging. They've been very humbling. They have shown me that beyond shadow of a doubt, spirit is always moving in my life. But there's also the realization that, not that I didn't know it before, but the deeper you go, the more layers you uncover in the work. We are doing so much of incredible collective shifting right now. For some of us, those roads and paths are light, and for some of us, it's very, very heavy. And I find that what I've seen in my part is that there are different phases of this. I used to be a game I used to play on the computer in the 90s, and there was easy level, normal level, and nightmare level. And what I've seen is that, life tends to switch between these levels. Sometimes you get in a particular phase for a long time, and sometimes you go to somewhere else. But what it has told me, what I have understood, is that this life is something you cannot generalize. Even if you have tools, even if you have tools like astrology, even if you go to mediums, even if you go to psychics, there's enough variation and flux in a single human life that at the end of the day, no matter what you know, what you think you know, or what you do, teach, share, you're never ever going to know the whole picture. And to me, at the very least, that's rather encouraging because it gives us, a lot of scope for experiencing the unknown. Granted, what's happening right now is pretty much nightmare squared, nightmare level right now in my life, but I've really seen the hand of spirit always there. So, if anything, it's a very affirming and faith restoring experience. But like I said, also a very humbling one. I would say that, in terms of just, on days like this, it just comes back to reconnecting with that space of the unknown and being unafraid to be in that space. It's about being willing to show up and say things for what they are without needing to put a box on it or a label or on it, without needing to, worry about what someone else has to say about your path and journey. And I think that's, in some sense, a phase of liberatedness that comes when you walk this road long enough, gentle enough, and in some cases, hard enough. It's really about just being in that space with spirit all of the time. Sometimes the work, like I said, it can be very light, it can be very playful, it can be very enjoyable. And sometimes I see with myself, with my clients, I see bizarre things happening. And unless you've been there, you have absolutely no idea what the other person is going through. Which is why I've been noticing a pattern with the cases I've been handling. And it tends to be, the same. It tends to be this vibration of going through something intensely, knowing it is still part of your path to do this, but wanting to say, I've done enough. It's time for something new to evolve at this moment. And I would say, in a general sense, that does resonate with the astrology of the stars. What I tend to find these days, and it's already been happening for quite a while now, is that even before I work with someone, I already know what I'm going to tell them. It just comes, and literally, when I look at the astrology, it'll be exactly the same thing, except more long winded. But I find that any modality these days, at best, is a tool. It's an explanatory tool, and the most powerful shifting of energy just comes with presence, with being willing to understand, with being willing to witness, with being willing to simply just be that which you are in that moment. And I know just be, just be, just be is a new age mantra, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that you have to look back at the roots of that practice to understand what it means from a very deep and metaphysical state. And to be able to do that when the world feels like it's collapsing around you, and in some cases it absolutely is probably one of the hardest things a person can do spiritually. And for whatever reason, that's kind of the state that I've been moved to for the past 8 months consistently. But it's clear, you know. Materially, there's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of discord, but somehow spiritually and energetically, the energy just could not be clearer. Well, obviously it could be, but you know what I'm saying? It's just this feeling of deep connection and this feeling of deep gratitude and this feeling of peace and that feeling of compassion when you see someone else walking the same road in ways that a lot of other people are not going to understand. And there are so many of us doing this. There are so many mystics. I know the moment a person says the word mystics, you think about some namby-pamby, yes, the great spiritual beyond, I sit and commune, whatever. No, we are all walking that path in different ways. And it can be very lonely when you just don't know how to communicate it. That's probably why a lot of people are drawn to me because I'm going to say it anyway. But yeah, that's really, it was less of a message and more of a feeling. I don't know why I felt like I needed to do this, but at this point, the why reveals itself if it needs to later on. But anyway, I'm going to look at who's online, give you my hellos, and see if there's anything interesting that we can discuss. Let's see. Hello, Island Preza. Hello, Valerie Hayat. Hello, Angela. Hello, Fabiola. Hello, Marilyn Parker Armitage. I love your name. I love your name. I've loved it for a long time. Hello, Jorge. Happy Friday, Queen Bee. Yes, always have faith in the universe. Hello, Car Parks. Hello, Libra Spirit. Hello, Consciously Aware. Um, Please tell me about my triple Virgo son who is turning 22. First of all, wish him a happy birthday. And secondly, let the Virgo determine what he needs to do. But I would say, one of the best things that a person can do with Virgo energy is to help them find their pace in helping them manage and navigate their own path. Amy says hi to you, kitties and all. Thank you. Hello, right back at you. Hello, MSV Soul. Hello, Salva Ferris. Hello, I'm Capricorn too, and uncovering and going through a lot, uncovering many layers of my personality. A lot of us are. Hello, KD Das. Hello, Dr. B. How are you? I am here. K. Park says nightmare level, but also affirming Chiron return. I hear you. Hello, Louis, Claire Jones, Happy Nomad. Hello from Manchester, UK. Thanks for your continuing guidance. I used to visit Manchester before. I went to a burlesque club and I did not know what it was. So I went there and I was like, oh, okay. And I went with a friend and I remember that we started dancing because the music was on and people were dancing and I think they must have thought we were part of some act or something. We got a round of applause. That was fun. Hello, Anthony Gumbel. Hello, Sheena. Hello, Shin. I'm down to clown around. I think I don't like clowns. I was blame Stephen King's It. That scarred me as a child. Hello, Brandon Lewis. He says, smash that like button. Thank you. Kapark says, being with what is an opening to the unknown, yes to liberation. MSV Soul asks, what are your thoughts on grief? Oh, I recently lost a few people due to COVID, and it's been hard to concentrate, and I quit my job. Luckily, they rehired me today. I'm grateful, but I hope I can push through. First of all, congratulations on getting rehired. That's important. Celebrate that. Grief is one of those, I'm not going to justify grief. The grief is one of those things that, you try to justify when you say it's for the greater good, when you say it's whatever, it just feels shit. But what I have found is the more you move through grief, the more you realize a greater capacity to love. But that's the pot of gold at the end of the journey. It's not something that's going to come through. And sometimes you can't push through grief. Sometimes you just have to you have to sit with grief. You have to sit with grief like it's a friend and just sit and listen to it and give it a blanket. Now, some people, stay a long time in that phase, and there are things that can be done to help them move through it. But when you've lost people recently, take your time with it and just give yourself space to mourn. That's very, very important. That's what I would say about grief. Let's see. Hang on. Oh, a lot of you suddenly commented real quick. Hang on. Ah, yes. Marilyn says, good to see you again. My life is a nightmare at the moment, certainly waiting for something new. I would honestly say end of the year. I'm not going to say that reality is going to change with a magic wand, but we are pushing through. We need to keep that resistance up. Keep it up, keep moving, and we will see some kind of change. We have to. I have to believe that. That being said, I'm also someone told me the way they mentioned it to me was quite funny. They said, "Oh, you're turning 33. It's going to be your Jesus year," and I was like, they tried killing him that year. And I can say this year has already seen a few attempts at that. Several things that could have been very easily life-threatening come my way. But not to take away from you, Marilyn, I'm just, giggling at that. But this is my 33rd year of life. I'm going to be 34. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be 34 in December. And yeah, December is when the big shift is happening. So I am just like batting down the hatches, going, come on, keep going, team, keep going. We've got to get to the other side. So it's certainly captain of the stormy seas right now. Mind you, some of you may be having it easy. That's great. And hold that space of ease and grace. It just means you're working on something different. No judgment, no comparisons. Let's see. Who else is here? Who else is here? Da 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 da. Hang on. A lot of people suddenly came in, so I have to scroll up. Hold up. Oh my, there's a lot to scroll through. Hang on. Okay. Malik Young says, hey, Sky Priestess, I love your channel. Thank you very much. Batwoman of Gotham says, so happy to see you and holding space in my heart for your safety, security, and peace. Thank you very much. That is one of the best things you could do for me right now. Steph says, yeah. Adrienne says, hello, Byree and everyone. Hello, right back at you. Lachlan Harkness, who is a teddy bear, an absolute teddy bear. He sends lots of love from Australia. I met him at a workshop that I was doing in Melbourne once. And my life has been very, very different. There were phases of my life where I'd be like in 7 different countries in about 7 to 10 days. And now I am sitting in a digged up car, moving around with my brother and 2 cats covered in cat hair and trying to find safe shelter. But no, there was that whole global will flying thing. And Lachlan was one of those people whom I met at the workshop. And yeah, he's just a teddy bear. I remember people for years and years and years. You meet some wonderful souls all over the planet, and he's one of them. Let's see. Ariel says 777. Thank you. Brandon says hello, Sky Priestess. Samantha W says hi, Byree. Thanks for the kitty Reiki recommendation. Sabina is a new kitty. Then there was a mosquito flying by because we have mosquitoes here. That's great, Samantha. I'm very, very happy to hear it. Samantha is a recent client, and I ended up just talking to her cats for about 20 minutes. And I don't think she'd mind me saying, but one of her cats was very, very, very specific. He was like, I have to go to this place. I want to go to this particular place. So I asked her about it, and she's like, oh my God, yeah, we have a friend there, and they have cats, and it was amazing. Cats have such a unique ability to communicate, and I'm just picking them up more and more and more. And I just spent about 20 minutes talking to a cat. But it's quite amazing. I would certainly say my animal sensitivity is going up. I keep looking at stray cats going, hello. So M. Demont says, hello, lovelies. Ariel WXYZ says, sending super love to you and high vibes. Thank you. Shelley Patterson says hello. Malik Young, I have a big business venture tomorrow. Cancer Sun, any advice or quick tips? Go with God, however you define God. Really, that is the, if you ask me to sum up anything that needs to happen now, go with that space of faith, you know, and let whatever needs to emerge, emerge. Jane Lane says, hello from Wisconsin. 305 Capricorn says, hello, family. Hello, 305 Capricorn. Tara John Manning says, hello, BB. Kitty McCree says, hello. I meet a lot of cats in my work. It's in fact there's one cat. I'm going to tell you about that cat in a sec, just because his mom's also here. Bridget Knight says hello. Desira says hi, 3 minutes behind. Many thanks for your guidance, doctor. No worries. Consciously Aware says thank you for responding to my question. Reread Virgo Sun, you're spot on already. Thank you so much. Marilyn Parker says thank you, most welcome. Sunnyflower says hello. Lantern Hill Morgan says hello from Jane and Pirate Cat. Now, I'm pretty sure Jane's not going to mind me talking about her cat. It's this beautiful fellow, and just this cat looks like he should be like a hero or a model or something. He's just got so much of personality, and he had to have one eye removed when he was a kitten. And I look at the cat, and immediately it just flies out of my mouth. Oh my God, you've got a pirate cat! And she's like, oh yeah. And this cat, because he's agreeing with everything I'm saying in the session, he's in his mommy's hands and he's like, yes, yes, mommy, listen, listen. They are so responsive to the work. They're absolutely responsive to the work. So I'm wondering, maybe instead of the sky priestess, I'm becoming the cat priestess. I would not be surprised at all. Um, but the cats are coming in real strong and they're like, yes, you say that. Oop, hang on. My apologies. That was an alarm for me to wake up because I have a client in a bit, but I'm up. So, and my alarm clock sounds like frogs croaking in a garden, which is kind of cute. Anyway, so let's see. Ria says, hi, Dr. B. There's always something going on internally or externally. Always, I agree. Elijah Dimitri says, hi, Sky Priestess. Island Fraser, Lionsgate Info, Retwin Soul Collections, and Clearing Energy Blocks. I was thinking about whether I wanted to address that specifically. And I just feel like, just do what you would normally do. Do what you would normally do and let the universe work with you a little clearer today. Valerie Hayat asks, any thoughts about those of us going through nodal returns? Ooh, basically what I've been talking about. Sit, sit, sit. Don't have a dominant narrative or concept unless it's something that really helps you to just sit some more with yourself. That Taurus sun is something that's a bit resistant to not knowing, but that's what we need. Dawn says, hi from DeKalb, Illinois. I'm actually awake. Dawn is also a friend, and I had the chance to meet her. And we made some nice memories together with a pizza, which I ordered. I didn't know how large American pizzas could get, so both of us are looking at this monster of a pizza. And we watched Paddington Bear, which was amazing and deeply bonding. I have to tell you that in the first Paddington Bear, there's a scene where it looks like he's about to fall down into a furnace. I was watching this in the theater. I am an adult woman, and I literally jumped the edge of my seat going, no, I was about to shout out in the theater. It's just so good. If you haven't watched Paddington Bear and you need some wholesome laughs and joy, get some pizza and watch Paddington. Paddington 2 is okay as well. It's got Hugh Grant in it, but Paddington 1 is the bomb. Paddington, for sure. Let's see. Who else we got here? Let me scroll up. Okay, all things love one. Oh my God, I caught a life. Hi, Dr. B. How are you, dearest? Walking in alignment as best I can. Tara John Manning says, still thinking about Norway. Love my reading. Glad to have spent a bit of my birthday with you. I am honored. Ariel WXYZ, got to make it through the 33. Yes. It's Carol says, hi, Dr. B. Blessings. Any thoughts on the father wound or inner child work from childhood trauma? Well, the mother wound, the father wound, they're both really important. It's really individual for each person, but what I find in experience, I find that a lot of these traumas tend to come about because a person's soul has already had those imprints in them. It's usually a past life thing, and usually the person they're playing it out with is playing out that old narrative. So when we're trying to locate something like that in terms of the 3D and what has happened in this life, it's kind of a big fish in a small pond effect. You're not seeing the whole larger picture. I would say that's something to certainly remember. What we also can talk about when we look at inner child wounds and healings is very often it's never to dismiss the fact that a wound has happened, but to also give permission to that person to very consciously find a space of joy, irrespective of what is happening. That's also a very powerful time of healing. It's Kel's also asked December, big shift, please elaborate. Long story short, Jupiter and Saturn together in Aquarius. Brandon says, wow, the big 34 is coming in December. That's a blessing, Sky Priestess. I keep going. I keep going. Fabiola asks, is the big shift in December coming from Saturn going back to Uranus? Yes, but this time with Jupiter as well. Adrian says, 33, you're young. I don't feel it. I remember when I was about 11 or 12, and I was still trying to work with the academic institution. I just, there was this teacher, and she was Indian Christian and very strict, very proper, one of those very, very proper people. And I was just saying, you know what, I don't have any friends. And, there was a lot of institutionalized racism, blah, 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 blah. And she's just like, I'm like, I've tried, it's not happening. And at that point, adults did not understand that children are actually incredibly wise. And she just looked at me and went, why do you sound so old? Why are you talking as if you've been doing this for years and years? And she didn't get it. She didn't get it at that time. But yeah, I felt old when I was a child. I don't think I've ever felt particularly young. Samantha W says, we are pushing through indeed. Mokti 8 says, good day all. So your bros Zio9 says, peace priestess, thank you. D Juju says, hi. Brandon Lewis says, your energy had me smiling and laughing all the time. Thank you for your time, knowledge, and wisdom and sharing your views and experiences with us. That's great. I'm happy to hear it. Teresa Lang says, greetings from South Dakota, Lakota grandmother here. Much respect. Thank you for joining us. Love catching you live. You align very well with our Lakota spiritual teachings. Thanks. That's a deep honor. Thank you so much. Katie Das says, it is sure to get worse before it gets better. Many astrologers and experts are saying 1 to 2 more years of this. What do you think? I think that there's that mosquito again. I don't like that mosquito. Um, Better make sure it's not on my cat who's cutely sleeping here. I would say this. I agree, but it's not going to be the same nature of resistance and intensity. Things will start to shift around December, especially. Now, the shifting is already underway because we're pushing through, we're moving through slowly, bit by bit. That entrenched energy is coming down, but we're going to need to really readjust society in the years of Saturn in Aquarius. So that's that big readjustment that needs to happen. And then after that, I'm going to see more. Personally, I'm going to say 6 or 7 years, but it's not going to be the same nature of the challenge for that entire period. Samantha sends hearts. Love that you shared the cat story. I love her cat's name. Its name is Xleb. Xleb. I like it. Carolina Walter says, woo, caught alive. Ria sends hearts. I am Goddess says, hi, priestess from North Carolina. Love you. Thank you very much. Much love back. Dawn Rogodinsky says, so excited I caught you live. Yay. Adrienne says, my oldest child's birthday was August 5th. He made 29. Nice. Yessie says, hello, everyone. Hi, Yessie. How's your boy? Is he still watching My Hero Academia? Tell him I say hi. UTB says, just tuned in. Hello. Dawn says, lol, cat priestess. Elijah asks, I was recently made aware of the plot of fortune. Could you elaborate on that? Thank you. Okay, there's this thing called Arabic parts in astrology, and through various calculations, they determine points in the chart where different experiences are likely to happen to you. So there's a point of spirit, there's a point of fortune, there's a point of death, there's a point of illness, there's a point of all kinds of things. And I would say these points are very, very important to understand where there is a great degree of volatility in the chart. So, for example, if you have something very erratic, like Uranus aspecting your point of fortune, anything can happen. You can suddenly get a windfall, or all your money can go away because something went wrong. If you have something that's very karmically blocking that point of fortune, it becomes important for you to remove that block before that can actually have any chance to activate properly. So it is a sensitizing point, but it's not something that I would say is necessarily a plus or a minus. It simply says this is where you can observe fortunes changing rapidly. All right, so Dawn says the best time, read Pisa and Paddington. Langton Hill Morgan says, absolutely true. The pirate cat, was being very animated during the reading. Thanks so much for everything and sending love to you, your brother, and yourself, yours and your cats. Valerie Kayat says, thank you as always. Bhairavi sending love. Thank you. She's been a client for a while as well. Joyous Day says, greetings, Dr. B. N Black says, hello, family. Hello, right back at you. I hope you are well. I saw a live that you were doing recently. Jillian, it was funny. My phone just suddenly leaped on. I was like, last night, I was like, what's going on? But I saw that you were doing a live. Jillian Giles says, hello. Heman Joshi says, hello, Dr. Bhairavi. Hello. Margaret Holford says, hello, Dr. B. Candy says, hello. Hello. Rani Ji says, hello, neighbors. Glad to gather with Dr. B and all on the journey. Take care, all. It's Cal says, yes, past life keeps coming up. Thank you for your thoughts, Dr. B. Most welcome. Jillian Giles asks, I hope you're having a good day. What would you suggest for heavy Saturn transits? Boo, boo, that's what I would say. I have Saturn transit opposite my sun and my Saturn conjunct transit Saturn. Oh, so you're having a Saturn return, it sounds like, opposite your sun. That's heavy. Oh my God, that's heavy. Well, having experienced one Saturn return, and I feel that it's different each time you go around, but what I can say is with Saturn, you kind of have to look at the larger picture. What are you being called to do? What is the body of work you're being called to generate? And what are you being called to walk away from? Because you're having Saturn opposite the Sun, I'm going to assume that your Sun is in Cancer. Obviously, Saturn is in Capricorn right now. So a lot of your changes are going to be in terms of your professional life and how you relate to the construct of family, home, domesticity, and so on. Okay, Overflow Tarot says hello from Atlanta, Dr. B. Hello. Ebony Joy Boss says, wow, you're only 33. You should be absolutely happy about accomplishing so much so young. Maybe when it's less tiring. But I will do my best. Thank you. Nacha Libre says, yay, hi, Dr. B, love you. That is my computer making noise. Hang on. Much love. Thank you. Matt Titan says, peace. Yes, he sends hearts. Mary Little Brave says, greetings. Joyous Day says, I missed a bit on child, Saturn return, Capricorn, and the other in Aquarius. Advice for them, just addressed it. Elijah Demetri says, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Very reminiscent to the Wheel of Fortune card in the tarot. Nice comparison. That's absolutely right. Rose Bakut says, hello, everyone. Amethyst Goddess says, hi, how do you remove those karmic blocks or limitations? It really depends on each person. So it's very hard to generalize because each soul enters karma for particular reasons. Sometimes it is a block. Sometimes it's something that's been harassing you for lifetimes. And sometimes it's literally your work with spirit right now. So, you need to have a perspective on trying to find which of those narratives or which of those perspectives resonate most before you determine whether this is actually a karmic block or something that you really just need to work through for you to get through where you need to get to. It's very hard to generalize, and that's why I'm not answering that question in a more specific way. um Jillian Giles says, sorry, my bad, it conjunct my Mars. That's okay, it just means you need to put more focus back on your physical body. Okay, Katie does says I'm in North Carolina. Most people in the U.S. have lost their mind. Astrology has made the crisis less crazy for me. Thank you, Dr. B. Talk soon. Most welcome. It can help, but don't let your life or anyone else's life be defined by narratives. No matter how useful those narratives are, they are still narrative. Your life is the real deal. Um, Aisha's got an interesting question. How do you return to your internal experience after avoiding it for a long time? I have a bit more details because question is why have you avoided it and how do you know you've been avoiding it? Okay. Ebony Joy Boss says, welcome, beloved. Joyous Day says, sorry, one child capped the other in Aquarius. You're quick. Well, with the capped child, I would certainly say, they're probably under a lot of pressure right now. The Aquarius child, what I've seen with the Saturn and Aquarius generation is that it is best to get out of their way and to support them where possible because they have a very clear vision on what they need to do. The Saturn in Cap child is certainly going to be carrying a lot of energy. And this is another thing that I do. I work with astrology not only for pets, but also for children, for teenagers. And the approach is different. You can't go in there with a kid and go, this is your karma, you face it. No. You have to, you have to get comfortable. I remember I was talking to a young man the other day, and I could tell he's never met me in this life, but the moment he saw my face, you could just see him jump. He was a very polite young man, but you could just see that jump, like he jumped back. He's like, oh shit. And I just introduced myself. I said, okay, hi, my name is Bhairavi. This is what I do with people. And if you would like me to help to work through certain things, you know where you can find me. So he heard it, he took it in, and I'm like, and I just told his mom, I said, look, if this is something that he wants to do, you can contact me. And that's the thing with kids. They are incredibly resilient. They have so much of wisdom. I mean, anything, everyone above the age of, you know, I would say 17, 18, is doing right now is going to shake the world up in a very powerful way. And what I feel is older generations, even if they're slightly older, our work is really just keeping the space safe for them to get out there and work their magic. And sometimes that involves, removing very, very large obstacles. But generally speaking, with kids, depending on age, obviously, help them find their own way themselves and be more of a guide that allows that says I'm here for you if you need me. Obviously if this is a very young child, that's very different. But if the child is in their teenage years or in their early 20s, they just need to know that they have someone that they can come to who can help them moving through. Let's see. Malik Young says MT, not sure what that means. Oracle of Altoona says hello from Florida. Hello. Wow, the energies must be really intense for you there. Also, Aja says peace family. Desiree DeBerry says, Dr. Byrie, what are your thoughts on working with the Lionsgate? Did that question get answered already? Mokti says, happy 8-8 Lionsgate. I wrote about this a couple of years back. And I was looking at my old article on this because I was like, yeah, do I want to talk about this? Do I not want to talk about this? But effectively, Lionsgate, from what I understand, Lionsgate had a very specific meaning in very specific cultures because it involved, if I recall off the top of my head, it involved the heliacal, I don't know how to say that word, Heliacal rising of the star Sirius. And so it had a very different significance because the skies were different thousands of years ago. And they keep evolving, they keep moving. And whilst I would say this is still a powerful energetic portal, working with the energy of Lionsgate in the here and now is something which I think, like if you look at the way it's conventionally been described, that's still very much old energy. What a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about ETs and other star systems and other civilizations is that those energies also evolve. And honey, I'm called the sky priestess for a reason. It's not about just looking at an astrology map. But what I have noticed over time is that these energies equally evolve, and it's very important never to put them in a box or brandish them with a particular category. Like sometimes when I'm trying to help clients through certain experiences they don't understand. Like I had one woman who, and I got a permission to talk about this. Very sweet soul, very sweet individual, and she'd actually been working with a colleague of mine who's phenomenal at her work. And she said, I've worked with this person. I still can't understand what's happening. She's done her work. I don't get this. I keep having in her mind, she didn't know what she was, but in her mind, she had this very strong body image issue. Like something about her appearance doesn't fit her energy. And so in her head, she was trying to put it in that box, and they were working with that energy. And so there wasn't much traction. But then I looked at it and suddenly it hit me. She's a star seed. And I was looking at the indicators of star seeds in charts, and there are indicators. And she's a very powerful star seed too. But it had never occurred to her to look at herself in that way, which is where and how you find legit star seeds. They have no clue this is what they are. And then when they finally find the concept, they go, oh shit, that's me. So when we shifted the paradigm that way, a lot of things clicked into place. And something, and then I said, okay, go back. This is the actual, it's not even a problem. You just need a recalibration at that particular frequency, blah, 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 blah. And hopefully she's on the way to doing that. But as I was trying to help her and guide her, I was looking at the materials that were present for that. And much like a lot of astrology, it's very romanticized. And it's important to also realize that when we are working with frequencies of other places beyond, they are variable, they change. They are not, higher ups that don't have their own negative karma. So when working with Lionsgate, I'm always very cautious because then again, I tend to be as cautious as I can about most things because that's my brother laughs when I mention this because he looks at me and he's like, you're a little cautious, a little, but I think about every step, and I find that a lot of those old energies would have worked in a different time. What we just need to acknowledge right now is the fact that this is a heightened energetic portal, and we need to allow that which is in alignment with the here and now to emerge and come through. That's why I'm not giving specific, this is what you got to do, and that's what you got to do. A lot of astrology is very outdated, and this also includes a lot of fixation on certain points in time. I was talking to another person who's also on this live, and she's an astrologer who's been doing it from the 70s, so she's a veteran. And she was like, I was thinking about getting into it. And I'm like, well, think about it again, because there's a lot more esoteric energy that's coming through. And that's a different kettle of fish. And she's like, yeah, I got that. But this is what's happening right now. We're trying to put a box on a construct that happened a long time ago, and we're trying to make it work in the here and now. So I often have a problem with focusing on this energy in a different way. Okay, but that was a long explanation. Let's move on. Tamilan says, yo, what's up, Dr. B from New York? Hello, Tamilan. How are you doing in New York? I love New York, but I don't love what's happening right now. Mokti says, you're young at heart with a wise also. I guess so. Lennis Eddington says, Earth Mama from Detroit. A force came to me in a dream, or while lying in bed. It tried to hold my arms down, but I pushed back. Lots of different reasons why that could be, but generally speaking, not a good sign. It means that you need to employ greater psychic protection and defense when you sleep. You may also want to see if there are any external influences in your bedroom or around your bedroom, or even the land that your property is on. TN says, hi, Dr. B. I wanted to know if you think something powerful is going to happen in September because of the energy of the solar eclipse on the summer solstice. No, Not necessarily that. We just keep having a lot of shifts happening. I think in September is when a lot of planets wake up from retrograde. So for that alone, I would already say more movement, more movement. Nacha Libre says, okay, oh, hang on. Ebony Joy Boy says, yes, it is. Tamilan Prometheus says, so happy I finally caught you. Nacha Libre says, that's interesting about the younger generations. I am in my 40s and had a dream about being part of a group of people who are clearing out the old energy to help make space for the new light. Fantastic. Tamilan says, I believe. Oh, okay. I believe one of my ancestors are Tamil. She was from Tamil Nadu. I think she pointed me in your direction. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. And Lennis Eddington says, my goodness, thank you kindly. Omar R says, hello, Barabi, my first time here. Welcome, welcome. We have very few rules here except the basics. Everyone's a person, everyone's on a path. Be mindful of the energy you bring in and just generally be respectful. That's what we try to do. But, as long as you can do that, that's fine. So, hello and welcome. Welcome, new neighbor. Okay, I think we have done this for a fair bit, 40 minutes in. And I'm going to, sorry, Oma, you just came, but I'm going. Oma is actually funny. I used to watch a lot of Korean, well, not a lot, but there was a phase where I was watching Korean movies. And it's funny because in Tamil, which is the mother tongue that my ancestors spoke and so on and so forth, they would say amma as the word for mother. Whereas in Korea, they go oma, but it sounds so similar. And so when you're hearing it and you speak that language or speak Tamil, it's just like, oh my God, it's touching something. And my brother and I were watching this show about this gangster who becomes a shaman, and he has to help this little dead child talk to her mother, and they're all hugging and crying and going, "Oh ma!" And I'm just sitting there crying my eyes out. But yeah, that's what your name reminded me of. But it might mean something completely different to you. Chabria, Debaria says, thank you. Chabria Mani says, Dr. B, I love and appreciate you, your spirit, and the wisdom you share. Thank you. I am in alignment and focusing on my work. This is making people in my daily life vibe out of harmony with me. That is usually a sign that you're doing the work. And, maybe it might be time to change the circumstances of your daily life. Tamilan says, got anything on imposter syndrome? Have had that my whole life. The only way I remember it was crippling me, and I struggle with it a lot. For those of you who don't know, imposter syndrome is where someone who actually has the qualifications, knows what they're doing, and has absolutely no reason to doubt themselves, is crippled by feelings of, oh my God, did they just hire me for because I'm a diversity candidate? Or oh my God, did they do the right thing? Should I be here? I struggled with that a lot in my late 20s as I was doing my PhD. And I would only say the only way out that I found for me was to go, okay, you are a fear. I will combat you with evidence and logic. And I just went ahead and did it anyway. And for me, that's always been the way through. It's just like, okay, at the end of the day, no matter what you think, no matter how esoteric it is, how silly it is, how fearful it is, evidence. Evidence at the end of the day is what matters. And when you put it down into those bottom lines, the fact that I could write one sentence was already proof that I wasn't an imposter. So that's the way I do it. So winding up now, Vanessa says, hello from Bellingham, Washington. Hello. Sheena Max says, thank you always for these chats. I appreciate them so much. Oma says, yes, that's all right. Utebi says, Oma means grandma in German. Oh, okay. Okay. Betty 2008 says, I'm a Libra, born from Scorpio. My children's, Jesus, born from Scorpio, my children's Scorpio, ex-husband is Scorpio narcissist, so much heavy energy. What can I do to keep me less reactive? This is a very good question. The fact you're asking this question indicates that you're already, getting there. Let's see. I remember when I had a narcissist Scorpio in my life. He was a domestically abusive fuck. But I would say, honestly, I know this is the most boring thing to say, but it works. Embrace boredom. Embrace silence. Embrace not responding. I believe if you look in the literature around narcissists and how to deal with them, there's something called being a gray rock. Embrace it, embrace it, embrace it, and you will see energy return to you. Chabri Amani says, thank you for the confirmation, love. Omar R says, Ute B, that's something. And Black says, I still struggle with the imposter syndrome, afraid to succeed. This is the thing. The moment you have a success, even a small success, that will, you know, that will move. Rose Pakut says, where I come from, imposter is someone who pretends to be someone they're not. That's true. But imposter syndrome is a specialized term in psychology where someone feels that they're an imposter even though they're not. So it's important that you raise the definition, but please do look up imposter syndrome because that's very specific. Adrienne says, thank you. I've been following you for some time now. You're very wise beyond your years. I guess, if you look at it as the history of a soul, maybe I should probably know more, but I guess from biological age, I'm doing okay. Don Rogodinsky says, I'm glad you found a way out of imposter syndrome. You're amazing. I'm doing my best. Thank you. Island Pressa says, are you taking consultations now? I am, but I am scheduling them more so for the middle of August. I'm trying to avoid some very dodgy dates, which will be a bit too traumatic for people, generally speaking. You can find my sessions at www.theskypriestess.as.me. Otherwise, just type in Google, book a session with the Sky Priestess. It will come up. Tamilan says, thanks, Dr. B. How to say bye in Tamil? Mostly people say bye now. But if you wanted to say, I'll see you again or something, you could say poitu vare. That's how you say it. Rose Bakut says, thanks for being part of your group. Brandon Lewis says, quick questions. What is the significance of deja vu and reasoning for showing up in certain moments in our life? I still have it, but not as much as I did as a child. Any thoughts on that? Just curious. Sometimes deja vu is you accessing a different point in time and then remembering that you accessed it in an earlier point in time. It can sometimes be related to precognition. Oma says, I'm a Libra, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, living in New Jersey. That is quite a difference. Nice to meet you. Kaylin says, finally caught you live. We'll have to listen to the replay. Hello from Ireland. Hello, hello, hello. So I am off. I've got to get to work now. Lots and lots and lots of love to all of you. Remember that reality changes all of the time. There are no fixed absolutes. The only absolute I can find in my life is the fact that faith is what keeps you going. Keep going, keep moving, stay in alignment, whatever that is for you, and resist the need to try and fit your experiences into a box. Resist the need to problematize your life because sometimes you are exactly where you need to be. Having that awareness would allow you to get to where you need to be in the future. And that's about it. Sending all of you much, much, much love. And ciao, ciao for now. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.